perspective to bring you trending updates on the happenings around the nations, on Anglicanism, the latest of sports stories, and all other stories shaping our world. All of these will tell you are all anchored on truth and would be viewed through the lens of faith. I am Godwin Nigeria, your anchor, but I am not alone this morning in the studio. It's a Monday morning and we all are prepared to bring to you all the trending happenings or the latest happenings, especially those that transpired within the weekend and those that are starting our week this morning. And I have a popular face, I must say, who has been in this, I call it the waters with me in this show, and also the only lady in the midst of two gentlemen. I'll do them the honors of allowing them introduce themselves. From my far left.
Good morning, I'm Femi Gundara.
All right, and then.
Good morning, I'm Smith.
All right, viewers, you've heard it from them. They are both my two co-anchors on the show, and they will be steering the wheel of today on ACNN this morning with me. And very quickly, we want to apologize for starting a little bit behind schedule. We promise to make up for this time lost this morning. And very quickly, we would be looking at the front page of our newspapers headlines that came in early this morning, and I would leave Femi to kickstart that segment.
All right, let's start with the Guardian newspaper. And the masthead says 2027 articles camp divided amid calls for reform ahead of campaign season. And that's on page 6 of the Guardian. 2027 INEC extends deadline for submission of governorship candidates list. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian. At Dedeji, Nigeria would be paying 53 trillion naira in subsidy without reform. Should we say thank you, God? Or thank you, Tinubu, for the reform? That story is on page 3 of the Guardian. And the major story this morning, we have insecurity. Low ROI drag 18 states from digital access connectivity. That's on page 6 of the Guardian. And beside the picture story, we have the let's on side we have the rights group alleged 66,000 Igbo families in agony over missing loved ones. That's on page 7 of the Guardian. We have aviation union issue airlines final 3-day strike notice. Wow. If you want to travel on time. That's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. We have below the picture story, we have an NCC to sanction telecom operators for poor quality of service. Experience, that's good. Also on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper, we have Zulu most Sahel countries 6 unified strategy against terrorism in Chad Basin. That on page 29 of the Guardian. And lastly, this morning, coming from Chief Olufemi Oluyede, the Chief of Defense Staff, he says, peace through sports. Sport is not just a universal language. It is the universal language.
And over to you, Chinedu.
Okay, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, we have on page 5, Nigeria's economy recovering after painful reforms, NRSC. And we have NDC crisis. Edo aggrieved members reject Utomi Galadima panel. You get that on page 36 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper, we have companies behind Nigeria's stock market 58.9 trillion naira boom. Coming over to the major story, we have only 6 banks pay 1.27 trillion naira dividends despite huge profits. You'll get that on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also have on page 9, JAMB clears 5,000 complaints in 5 days. Still on page 9, we have APC completes upload of all candidates ahead of deadline. And the kickers are as INEC shift deadline for global assembly candidates lists submission. And on page 8, we have NLC demands power sector shake-up. Page 16 of the Vanguard newspaper reads, Oshun Oyinlola leads PDP faction to endorse Oyibanji. And finally, we have on page 8, Nigeria spent 3.1 trillion naira on domestic debt servicing in Q1, DMO says. Over to you, Godwin.
We're looking at a few stories in the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. And the Punch is leading with these very catchy headlines there. It says, Presidency, Atiku in fresh war of words over killing. And this story can be found in both page 2 and page 8 there of the Punch newspaper. And it's coming with a kicker that says, ex-Vice President fought Tinubu on security. President rallies clerics against insurgency. And then also we have on page 3, Oshun 2026, Oyinlola-led PDP faction dumps Adeleke, backs APC Oyebamiji. And then that story can be seen on page 3. And also on page 31, we have tax revenue hit 27 trillion after 113% surge. And this is a special report from the front page of the Punch newspaper and can be seen on page 31. And moving on very quickly, we'll be looking at the front page of the Daily Global newspaper for you this morning. And Daily Global is leading with some political news there. And it says APC beats INEC deadline, uploads all candidates for 2027 election. And also we have just above the Daily Global masthead, Chief Product Babachi Lawa mocks Atiku presidential bid. So much there. And we also have Glow at 23, how Adenuga built a telecom empire that refuses to sell out. And then also lastly on that, we have IGP initiative yield results as Delta State Command VCRU team bust drug cartel, recovers illicit drugs. A good one, I must say. And then lastly, on the Daily Global newspaper, there we have troops of Operation Kosalo neutralize kidnapper, rescue abducted farmer in Edo State. Yeah, these are cheering news there, I must confess, from on the Daily Global newspaper that we have for you this morning. And viewers, like we would always advise, you go get yourself a copy of this newspaper and follow through with all of the headlines. And moving on very quickly, we'll be looking at a discussion segment where we look at all of the stories that we've read out and also some issues that are making round both in the front pages of the newspaper and stories that have gone viral all across the media world this morning. So we urge you to stay tuned with us on the show. And please remember, this is so important to us that you can be part of the show by calling in the number showing on your screen and also by sending your comment via our various social media platform. We'll do well to read it, take your calls, get you converse with us on the show, and make your very enlightening contribution even as we'll begin. So please, viewers, we urge you to stay tuned. All right, we would now be looking at a very, how do I put it now, a very important story that is on the top page of the newspaper. And we will be starting with this. Federal government unveils guards to protect Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. This this is indeed a big one, and we would be looking at it holistically because, Femi, we are talking about state police not quite long, still looking at them at their formative state, allowing our State House of Assembly to pass laws or guidelines that would allow for its operation within the state. And we also have across different states those that we would describe as forest guard. Over time, this is actually taking a chunk of the resources of taxpayers across state. And mind you, the coastal highways that we're looking at cut across various states within the southwest and the south before it gets to its final destination. And also, there has been a whole lot of controversy surrounding the coastal highways. The government may have its reason for employing, say, 40 guards headed by a retired general to watch the highways. Now, the big question will now be, although their responsibilities have been clearly spelled out to drive out hawkers from the highways, to ensure that the likes of Kekena Peps and I don't know what it's called within that axis, but we know them as Okada in this side, do not enter the highways, and also to stop any form of vandalism of these highways. Now, given all that have surrounded the coastal highways over time, could we or should we at this point commend the federal government as taking this step as a laudable initiative as regards to the coastal highways?
All right. Thank you so much, Godwin. To put perspective to all that you have said, state policing will cut across all the states in the country, no doubt. And it's a welcome development that Mr. President has been able to push to the National Assembly, and it's being worked upon currently. Is a welcome development and initiative by the incumbent president, and it's a development that when it flies, it will really be of great advantage to ameliorate the issue of insecurity in our country. Number two is that the issue of a forest guard that were being employed or engaged is within the Oyo state because of the kidnap that happened at Orire in Ogbomoso. So I think that's that. The forest guards were not engaged all over the states, just within the context of Oyo State, and because of the incessant kidnapping that happened a few months ago. Now to the coastal road guards. I want you to know something, that the employment or the engagement of these guards, to me, is an indictment on the masses.
Okay.
It tells on how irresponsible we are. Yes, some of the masses are very irresponsible when it comes to vandalism. The reason they employ them and engage them is because of vandalism. That is the major reason they have been engaged. And 40 of them has been engaged for now. And more will still come. I don't know, maybe you saw the video that trended a few days ago. How some miscreants, some good-for-nothing citizens went and were damaging the flyover in Lagos, trying to remove the ions inside a concrete flyover. It's an act of irresponsibility. Everything that happens in Nigeria is not solely because of our leaders. At times, I want to go the way of we deserve the kind of leader we have.
Okay.
Because how on earth will a citizen go to near a flyover and start to remove it because you want to have just one iron steel that you will stay for maybe 5,000 naira? God forbid if that flyover pulls down now and kill people. They will say the governor of Lagos State is not doing anything.
Okay.
So I want to say that it's a welcome development. If we citizens cannot be responsible, then they will use our money to put us where we belong.
All right.
Do you know that 40 people, do you know how much they will be earning? You know, if things are done, there's some things that some of us travel out of the country, what we cannot do outside the country, we come back to Nigeria to come and do worse. So to me, it's an indictment on how we can be very obedient and well-behaved as a citizen. So that's my comment. It's a welcome development.
All right, Femi, thank you so much. I'm happy that you are commending the government for this initiative. I just want to ask you because we have a whole lot of forces. When I use the word force, initiatives like this, bringing people on board to come and guard and secure places. We still have um, institutions whose responsibility still falls within this ambit to secure our lives and properties, to ensure that every of these things are rightly secure. Take, for instance, the likes of the NNCDC and the rest. Could this not have been an additional responsibility of their deploying their men to these areas to safeguard not just this property within the ambit of their own responsibility and not bringing in a new set of persons, because many persons are looking at it as a gross mismanagement of taxpayers' money. What's your take on this?
Odwin, even let's take as an example the city of Abuja.
Okay.
If you walk street to street in Abuja, you will see some ions used in covering all these drainages, right? These guys come Babambola. I call them miscreants.
Okay.
They've removed it. But, you know, yes, it's not about what you said, but as policemen, as NSCD officers, we have road safety, we have them, I know. But then, if the government is now saying, we are not too pleased with this act of vandalism, let's engage people that it will be their responsibility solely to make sure that these properties, these investments are well taken care of. If you look at Nigeria as a country, we can invest billions in a project. Management becomes a problem. Okay. So what they are now saying is that this act of management has been a problem of the government for so many years. We want to put things in order. We will not continue to spend and spend without proper management. We want to put things in order. And as you can see in Nigeria today, or in our country today, the hands of the police officers or policemen are full. NSCC officers, their hands are full. If these people are engaged, it will be my concern if they do not live to the expectations of their duty. Then I become concerned. But if they are doing their duty, whatever is being paid to them, I don't believe is a waste of resources.
All right, thank you so much, Femi. And viewers, you've heard it there from one of my co-anchors here in the studio. We want to also remind you that you can be part of this conversation by calling in the number showing on your screen and also sending your comment via our various social media platform. And now coming to you, Chinedu, you've heard all what Femi said. I don't know if you share similar sentiment with him, but before you answer, I still want to ask you, given the kilometers that this supposed coastal highways will span, it cut across forests, it cut across states, until it arrives from the startup point to its final destination. Do you think that employing just 40 persons, just as many critics have seen it as another venture of embezzling government funds, do you think even this 40% are enough to man this highways?
Well, I don't think 40 is enough. It cuts, because it cuts across a lot of states, Rivers, Bayelsa, some southwestern states. So 40 is not enough to handle what I think they want to do. However, it goes a long way to say that the issue that we are having in Nigeria, it's not just our leaders. It also boils down to us. One, we don't have maintenance culture. So then bringing these coastal highway guards, it's a way of introducing a way, protecting what we have. Most of the time, we build projects and we allow it to just die like that. Sometimes projects are not even completed. Sometimes the leaders just come and start another one.
Okay.
So now when they bring all these coastal highway guards, it goes a long way to protect what has already been built. But 40 is not enough. And secondly, it's high time Nigerians should talk to themselves. Most of the time, we are pointing at leaders. Our leaders are this, our leaders are that. But we, the Nigerians, the heart of wickedness in the heart of Nigeria it's appalling. Because if you go, I wouldn't blame them. Somehow, I'm not blaming them for employing these people. The materials that are being brought to use to build this highway, do you know that people steal them? So they need people that will protect those materials. Now, after they finish building it, you also see, in fact, I had a story of somebody as they are building their house, some other people are coming to vandalize and steal the materials that were used to build the house, and that is applicable to this particular situation we are finding, where this coast highway that we are looking at.
All right. Thank you.
I want to say. Hope you are aware that this in Abuja now, UK just did this green iron bar demarcation.
Yeah, some of them are even being vandalized.
Yeah,
They are
being
already
removed.
vandalized.
You know,
So
removed and resold. That's why we will have to plead to the government to please cancel this thing that you call Panteka. Cancel Panteka. If there's nowhere to sell it, they will not steal it. What you steal, you cannot sell. You will not want to steal. Number two is that this 40 recruitment is just a startup.
okay.
Coastal Road is yet to be completed.
Okay.
In fact, we still have, but I don't know now, I don't want to give wrong figure. What we still have or what is still left for them to complete the Coastal Road is still far way more than the ones they've done. So it's just to test waters. I believe there will be more recruitment.
I also want to say, I wouldn't blame the people that are saying that is a means of embezzlement, because anything is possible in Nigeria. Sometimes they just front a particular thing and then use it as a way of collecting huge amounts of money. One, we don't know how much they're paying these people. We don't even know whether it's up to the minimum wage that we're talking about. So, but they look for cheap labor, but then they take huge amounts of money and then pay these people just cheap amounts of money for this particular work, because the work is huge.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Viewers, you've heard from my two co-anchors here in the studio. It's quite an exciting time this morning on Today on ACNN. And now very quickly, we'll be looking at another issue, and that would be the proposal of NLC, who are seeking for a 500,000 naira minimum wage, as the group is presently seeking for a pay review. Femi, not quite long, there was an increment as regards to minimum wage. And according to labor laws, it is rightly stated that I think after every 3 years, there would be a review. Now, given our present reality in Nigeria, let's try to strike a balance between the private sector, the public sector, and the way the Nigerian economy is presently. Do you think that this request of the Nigerian Labour Congress would be realizable in the nearest future? Or do you not see it as a means where they are just hyping their amount so that they and the government can come to at par as regards to a certain amount?
All right, I would like to quote a popular scholar. Is a scholar of the African traditional religion in University of Ilorin. He said, and I quote, "Know or learn how to use your moment and use it well." NLC has not been able to use their moment, or they've not learned how to use their moment, and then it has slipped off their hands. I want to say that with all due respect and, of course, sense of understanding. When they had the moment, they did not seize the opportunity. They did not seize the privilege. The first bargain, the president brought them to the table. They negotiated. Madam Miller represented the president and Akpabio. They negotiated, and for them to now settle for 75,000 naira. No, 70,000 naira, sorry. 70,000 naira. Was a surprise. It was their moment. Tinubu never wanted a disruption at the beginning of his tenure. He wanted to tell the masses that he can handle it. That was when he was having the problem of acceptance from some citizens. You know, some people came out and said, "Not my president." And that thing trended. "Not my president." That time he was looking for acceptance. He called NLC to negotiate on table. It was their moment. But they did, oh my God, they refused to use it. The other guy went and later said he wanted to become president of a Labour Party aspirant, and was messing up their current incumbent president. And now they are talking about 500,000 naira. I pray it will work. But then, beyond increments in salary, let there be a stable economy. You can have 500,000 in your hand and it's useless if the economy is not good. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Because you've had it once more from Femi there. He's giving it back to back on the show this morning without any form of reservation, and that is what we are looking at. Like he said, the NLC and all of the executive members have lost their moments, and he's not seeing the possibility of coming back to that bargaining table and winning their own or gaining anything out of this whole thing. Presently, we are in an economic situation where a whole lot can be said and yet nothing will be done. I just pray it comes to that point where we'll come to a reasonable amount for every average Nigerian, because sincerely, our economy is not smiling. Chinedu, I'll come to you now. You've heard what Femi said, and I just want to ask, because the present leadership of the NLC, Femi said they did not use their moment, but the present leadership of the NLC, what would you have to say about them? Because a whole lot have happened over time. You understand, you remember, the issue that transpired in Imo State, where he was almost beaten to stupor and the rest. So many persons say he has left comradeship and is now acting as a politician.
Yeah.
Do you not now see that everything coming out from the NLC will be ascribed as stock is cheap and no one takes them seriously? What is your take on that in particular?
I follow Femi to say that this 500 minimum wage is not realistic.
500,000.
500,000 minimum wage is not realistic at all. One, it's not every state that pays this 70,000 that we're talking about right now. I'm not talking of private sector. I'm talking of the public sector. it is not all states that pay this 70,000. So him coming out and saying 500,000, I don't know whether he wants to sell pepper and salt with the government. However, one thing I know is that sometimes when they get hungry, they come out and then they make all these things so that they will come and sit them down and then maybe settle them with some fat envelope and then the matter cool. It's not the first time that the NLC is coming to say one thing or the other, but immediately they have a meeting. You will always hear that they had a meeting with NLC, and then all of a sudden you are not hearing anything again until after a long time. So possibly they are hungry at this point in time, and they know that politics, election is around the corner. So this is the opportunity to just grab some, I don't know, but somehow I just feel that all this is just noise. When they call them together and they settle them, the matter is closed.
And I want to like to bring us to the memory lane. The days of Adams Oshiomhole, the days of Abuahid Omar. These were comrades who stood on grounds of integrity. You could see that the president himself would be on the table. And you will hear that there was a meeting overnight. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Now, the presidency does not even have the time, the luxury of time to have a night meeting with them. It's a meeting that they will start from the afternoon and it will dovetail to around 2 a.m. because it's a strong negotiation. But the incumbent one, Alero, what's his name? Ajero will say there will be strike tomorrow. Before we wake up, before 1 a.m., we tell you, 1 p.m., we tell you that there's no strike again. Inconsistency in leadership will always lead to lack of integrity, and again, it will reduce the power of the comradeship. Inconsistency reduces the power of that comradeship. You understand?
Do you see this affecting the next leader that would come into it?
No, at all. This thing is, I said, I do say that leadership is based on personalities. Another person can emerge tomorrow and build NLC again, and you wonder, NAFDAC has been, with all due respect to the Yoruba woman there now, somebody left NAFDAC and it was as if NAFDAC was not NAFDAC before. A woman came. Of course, we know. May God bless our memory in Jesus' name. She came and, Dora really came with all sense of understanding of who she is. She's the director, the DG, not minding who's all is God. She went to Southeast where she came from, finished all these illegal guys that are producing wine. He started from, she started from our Jerusalem. She started from what? Our Jerusalem. From our state of origin. She went there, finished them, arrested those guys with illicit drugs, arrested them, put them behind bars. So he used them to send message to other geopolitical zones. That if I can do this to my people, I can do it to anybody. They were negotiating in billions with her. She refused. She escaped assassination attempts severally. Another woman emerged and the whole thing disappeared. So the thing is not gender-based. It's not tribal-based. It's not color-based. It's personality. Right. So another person can emerge tomorrow and bring back the face of NLC.
All right. Thank you so much, Femi. So viewers, very quickly, we will now be moving on to stories that surrounds insecurity. And I tell you a whole lot. And just like I read on the front page of the Punch newspaper, where a former vice president, the person of Atiku Abubakar, is presently in a fresh war of words over killings of Nigerians with their presidency. And here they are bringing out statistics to back up their claim. Atiku is saying that over 5,091 killings have exposed the failures of the present administration, especially under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as regards to security. In all fairness, there are also other issues. There have been an exchange of words between these two persons there. And also we have a case where the military makes steady progress, rescuing over 381 in 1 week. And then only of late, just within the weekend, protesters block Mokwa Bida Highway over persistent banditry. Now, I want us to look at this issue, Femi and Chinedu. It looks as though that when we take, say, 50 steps forward, we are taking roughly 70 steps backward, or it all depends on how you see it. The body language of the government seems to be that we are winning the war over terror, but to the populace, to those who are grossly affected, they most likely are not seeing the efforts of the government. Now, in all of this back and forth, we understand that the lives of our gallant men who are in the war front paying the supreme price to ensure that you and I are seated right here in this studio is being paid, and we do not take their sacrifice for granted. For those whose life have gone in the fight, we pray this morning that God blesses their soul and rest them and their family according to His will. Now, the question still that is still in the front burner is as regards to Atiku this morning. Roy, what do you think the person of Atiku Abubakar? We all know him. Do you think he has a right standing to question Tinubu as regards to insecurity?
All right. I want to say that the success of the military in the area of security, what we have on paper is quite different from what we have in reality. What have on paper? They will tell you they've neutralized over 3,000 terrorists. They've neutralized and destroyed over 5,000 terrorists. But the result we have and the on paper is quite different from the reality. We still have them with us. I mean, the barrage of them being recruited from even other countries. So I want to make that very clear. If the president can hear us, that insecurity is still very much with us. Like Cardinal Onoyekon told him. He said, Mr. President, he said there is poverty. Mr. President said, no, there's no poverty. He said, Mr. President, there is insecurity. Mr. President said, no, there's no insecurity. So it's like Mr. President is not abreast with the reality that is going on in Nigeria.
But Femi, hold on. Previously, the previous administration, we suffered from this nonchalancy of the presidency. And it comes up with this mantra that many Nigerians are now use. I am not aware.
Okay.
Do you still think that is affecting?
That is what the president, the president of Nigeria is let me say, in a layman word, is the president. Is the president. All what it depends on to get his facts are feedbacks from chief of staff, chief of defense staff, minister of education. He cannot stoop low to go on street. He's the president. That's why we have division of division of power. We have the state, we have the local government, then federal government. The president is the president. So the intel is getting is that we are overcoming the terrorists. There is no insecurity again. Somebody came on social media, one of the ambassador, Reno Mokri. He said, when last have you seen anybody, have you heard of anybody being kidnapped? And somebody now said, he said yesterday. He said where? He said where? He said Niger State.
Hey!
He said my village. So imagine that person, there's nobody like that who has the body to respond on X. People like that will have gone to the president and said, Mr. President, you know that for the past 6 months, there's no kidnapping? And he will tell, he has the boldness to face all the cardinals and told them, There's no poverty again. There's no insecurity again. That's number one. So we need to begin to tell the president that the president should come to the understanding that in leadership, you cannot but have sycophants around you who want to say what you should hear, who want to keep their position. As the chief of defense staff, can I come and tell you as president, say, Mr. President, there are terrorists everywhere. They are destroying us. So I know it will have a ripple effect on my office. I must tell you what will make you say, well done, Femi. You are working. You are working. Of course, it happens in religious organizations. They will go and tell the bishop or the general overseer that we are doing well. So that the bishop can keep them in big churches. Can keep them close to him. It's happening. Around every leader, both spiritual or secular, you have sycophants. Sycophants that will come and tell you that the workers are earning salary good, they are fine, they are praising the bishop, they are thanking the proprietor, but they are suffering. So if leaders can be honest with themselves, that sycophants are around you. Whenever they bring feedback, you have to do another extra investigation. That's number one. Number two is that Atiku Abubakar does not have the moral ground. I mean, it does not have that integrity. I mean, it does not have the wherewithal to put his mouth on the issue of insecurity. Atiku Abubakar, when that lady in Sokoto was killed, she made a comment quickly he made a comment quickly on his ex. And when there was banter because a lady went on WhatsApp group and told people they were making, it's a WhatsApp group of a department. They were making posts about religion, this one. That lady said, this is a departmental WhatsApp group. Let us stop talking about our religion. What is this issue about your Muhammad? And they asked her to apologize. Why will you speak against prophets? How will you do like this? You have defamed our religion. And she refused. She did not know that this is a big problem. Because I read the story. She went to school second day. The mobber, she ran to the security unit. They kept her inside that place. And just for them to move her out and stone her and burn her live during the day. Security men were there. Police were there before them. Somebody that is running for presidency in a secular state. Nigeria is not a Muslim country. Nigeria is neither a Christian country. We are a secular state. Any religion goes there. If you are a traditionalist, you can practice it with freedom. Atiku made that post and said, I condemn this killing. Less than 5 minutes, our man deleted it. The same man that watched the killing of a young lady who made a comment about religion, and he released the comment because of banters from the northern part of the country, you have to remove that post. The same man is now making comments about insecurity. So I don't think Atiku has that moral standard to put his mouth on the issue of insecurity. And again, Atiku is the reason for the pain we are going through. I'm serious. That's my personal view. If Atiku was humble enough to have a strong what was it called? A strong coalition with Peter Obi, I believe that the incumbent president will not be where he is today. But Atiku is the reason why we are here.
All right, viewers, thank you so much for staying tuned with us. We still want to encourage you to call and share your thoughts, your comments as regards all of our conversation with you this morning. I trust that you have been well entertained, well informed, and well enlightened on the show this morning. All right, a whole lot of issues have been raised by Michael and Kofemi in the course of him making his contribution. But of utmost importance, Chinedu, I would be coming to you is as regards to press freedom. Do you think, because in as much as we're looking at if the president is aware or not, now let's critique ourselves as the media house. Do you think that the freedom of information, the freedom to in Nigeria they say you have the freedom to talk, but the freedom after your
After you are
speech is
spoken.
not guaranteed. Do you think that the media houses are doing enough to showcase all of these happenings in Nigeria? Or do we just take it to be that our president do not watch what is happening, what is being reported, but only rely on what he's being fed with?
I'll take it that the president relies only on what he's being fed on.
Okay.
And I will also take it that the media houses tell some of the things. It's not everything that there are certain things that you want to put on the media, it's being yanked off. The producer or the director is telling you, no, this is not what we do. Or this is, we are at risk of being invited by the presidency or the EFCC or whatever. So they are afraid of carrying out or putting certain information because they are afraid of being indicted. They are afraid of the presidency or the government coming to close their station. So the media is not giving out the raw information as it is. And the president himself is also not. So what they give the presidency is just a part of, all the praise propaganda. That is what they give the presidency. However, there was something Femi mentioned. He said something about a president not coming out and he's relying on his chief of staff and he's relying on the ministers. And I want to ask, this same president we have in Nigeria, is this not the same president that we have in other parts of other countries in the world? Let's take the likes of Trump. You can't tell me that Trump doesn't know, in as much as the chief of staff or whoever that it is telling him what is it. Trump has a way of digging out whatever information. Do you know that there are certain things that happen in this Nigeria that Trump has first-hand information even before our leaders, our supposed president has the same information? It's just that our president do not have the interest of the people at heart. If you call yourself a leader, okay, let's assume the family. If you say that you are the leader in a family, it is not only what maybe the mother tells you that you all take. I mean, you should also observe. You should go out of your way if you really want to say or really want to practice leadership. You should go out of your way to find out and say what and what and what. Yes, my ministry and Minister of Education has told me education is doing well. The Chief of Defense Staff has said this is happening. Why can't I on my own do what we call investigative journalists?
Or send out.
Yes, we have psychophants, but there are still people just that you want to surround themselves with psychophants.
Femi, before you respond, I was actually going to come to you with a question. I want to now ask, given what Chinedu had brought out, do you think is a personal thing or is an institutional deficiency?
You mentioned Donald Trump. I would like to put this in perspective. Donald Trump will equally trust the intel given to him.
Still.
Wait. In Nigeria matter, Donald Trump will not make us to citizens of Nigeria and say, what's happening in Nigeria?
Definitely.
It still is intel that will give him information. But wait. The difference between him and our president may be the quality of people around him. That is it. That may be the difference, may be the quality of people around him.
So, you liken it even to. He also mentioned our Christian leaders.
Indeed.
You also mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The quality of people. If I'm saying quality, not quality in the physique, but quality in character and substance.
So
Some
you
people,
are
So
invariably
how do-
saying we have round pegs in square holes.
that is just it. Without missing words. You have to put it like, I'm just being sincere with us. Just put it like that. And another thing is that President himself, I think it will interest you to know, or it may interest you to know, that President himself also have access to TV sets. In Villa, they have it. I saw a picture like that. I saw one TV set, and people are saying it's too small for President. Why not put a big screen for him? So because he'll be watching what is it? Yes, he listens to what is happening around Nigeria and of course around the world.
So that's why we also
President-
mentioned the media has their own
Wait,
part.
President has access to newspaper, and to the best of my knowledge, the media outlets, they are doing their best. They are saying it as it is. But then you should investigate. What now is now the problem? The problem is that we look at everything from the viewpoint of politics. The way I'm talking now, some people say, is Obi. This guy is Obi. Is Obi. I'm serious.
I get you.
When you look at Arise now, Rufai is when you look at, I don't want to mention him. If you watch particular TV, APC. Everything in Nigeria now has now been reduced to politics. That means if anybody is saying anything against the president will not take the truth, but rather look at the personality and say, I think this man will never say anything good in my... You understand now?
Very well.
Anything we are saying is, they are Christian because it's Muslim ticket. They are Obi. That is why somebody made a comment and said, let me mention him. It was this Daniel Boala.
Okay.
He said, Cardinal Onoyekon is political. Is supporting Peter Obi. How will that elderly man, an elder statesman, he spoke truth to power and somebody politicized it? The problem today is that even if you are saying the truth, they will investigate. Is it a Yoruba man? Is it an Hausa man? Is it an Igbo man? Igbo man is Obi. Is it a Christian? Is it a Muslim? Christian is Obi. He never said anything good. Some people are watching ACNN and I think that ACNN is for Christian. So when we talk about Tinubu, they say because he's Muslim. So the problem is that we politicize everything. President watch everything, he sees everything going on. But when he sees it, he's like, who is that man? And that man is working for that television. Oh, they are against you.
I still don't want to believe that they allow the president to see everything.
Okay.
I still don't. I really still don't want to believe
All
that they
right.
allow. If President Buhari will say he is not aware,
That is
and then he had this meeting with the clerics, and he's refuting what they are saying. They are trying to tell him reality.
Okay, can I tell you? Do you know that Tinubu himself met people that they massacred in Jos? He went to the airport and met them firsthand. Wait, do you know?
He was at the airport.
Godwin?
He didn't
I'm
land
saying,
there.
I said he met the family firsthand, especially the woman whose son was killed and held the young man in the pool of blood, right?
Yeah.
So he met them firsthand. He is aware of what is happening, but anything that is trying to that is put up or trying to be against his tenor or his government, he will tag it as politics. Somebody said Onoyekon made a political statement. How will you say Onoyekon made a political? These are Tinubu's appointees. You now reduce the word of a whole cardinal. You know who a cardinal is? A whole cardinal in the Catholic Church.
All right.
Catholic Church is not a mushroom denomination. It's a well-respected denomination in Nigeria, and of course outside Nigeria. So a cardinal speaking, as somebody said, is a political statement. You know that everything is being politicized. If you speak too much now, they will say you are for Tinubu.
All right, viewers, you've heard it from Femi here and Chinedu in the studio. It's quite an engaging time with my two co-anchors right here on Today on ACNN, and I believe you are rightly being entertained, even as you are being enlightened on the way forward in Nigeria. And this can only come to you via the Advent Cable Network Television and the flagship show, which is Today on ACNN. And now we We have comments coming in. I will just read one of them before we take a quick break and then launch into the segment for trending stories. And now from one of our viewers, yeah, he says, "My people, good morning to you all in the studio. With all due respect to NLC, Ajero is not a leader in that he does not bargain for national minimum wage. Ajero was in the power sector. Ajero was in the power sector, and Ajero, who was in the power sector, is not the same one there. The same person said, I work in the power sector before privatization. Up to now, our benefit has not been paid. After 13 years down the line, our entitlements are there with them." This is coming from one of our viewers, and he or she is expressing their sentiment as regards the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress, especially at the point where they are canvassing for a 500,000 naira increment in the minimum wage. And I ask myself, is that possible with the state of things in Nigeria and with the present administration and all what is happening? Hopefully, they will get what they ask for. Hopefully, the president will listen to them. And with this, we will take a short break. When we return, we'll launch into a trending story segment. Please don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, this is Today on ACNN, brought to you from the stables of the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television. It has been quite an exciteful moment in the studio. I have personally been enlightened, entertained, and at the same time, we have discussed a whole lot of issues. And presently, we are in the trending story segment. But still, we will be sticking with insecurity for now before we move. And on the issue of insecurity, we have a comment that is making rants across various platforms. And it says, as a priest, you wake up on a beautiful Sunday morning to administer sacraments to your congregation, only to end up burying them. These are sad times in Nigeria. We'll look into that video, and when we come back, we'll launch into that conversation.
What happened here, it was a surprise thing. You see, this area here, as they have earlier mentioned, we are here in the boundary, because a part of here, all other places, we have boundary with Magabul here. So at any time they want to enter, they just pass as if they are taking care of their cows and just enter this side. From here downward, we are the boundary here. So we pray by your help and by our prayers, the Lord will see things, will make things better according to His will. So, Nima ban san kun riga kun zo ba, because I have been here since morning. So, muna magana ne da foreman, he told me you are together with him here. So, urafem da go salahu kwanda hoyele da go gibo da go kiro ho da urafem ho yeah. Mama Tom, I don't know man that you will get information and come here. But we thank God you have had the information and you are here and you have seen what happened. So we thank you. God bless you. God continue to protect you. Urafem, that we are salam. That we are salam.
Welcome back, viewers. You just watched a video of a reverend there who went to service to celebrate the communion, the sacrament, and the rest, but only ended up in the burial site where he ends up conducting a burial service instead of the service of the communion or the sacraments there. This indeed are sad times in Nigeria, and it pains our hearts that these things are happening despite the successes we would say that our security agencies are winning in the in the face of terror. And now we will dive into this conversation and also bring you more trending videos and stories. And please just stay tuned with us. It is indeed a sad one. Femi, we just watched this video of the Reverend who went to church to celebrate the communion, but only to end up burying the same members he ought to give communion that same morning. This is a sad thing. And we spoke a whole lot concerning insecurity. What do you have to say?
All right. I want to say that it's an unfortunate thing to behold on the Sabbath day when the minister of God is prepared to administer the Eucharist, and now to find out that his members are being slaughtered like sheep or like goats as it may. We are still talking on the same thing and seeing little or no result. Insecurity has pervaded every nook and cranny of the country, and is making us to think as if the presidency is limited in authority.
Does this not give credence to the words of Atiku?
Yes, I'm not saying what Atiku said does not hold water. I'm just saying that his personality, I have to draw the line. His personality is at variance to the truth is putting up. What he's saying is very true, right? It's very true. There is insecurity in the country, and as of yesterday, the Lieutenant General Olufemi came out, chief of the defense staff, and said they have neutralized over 3,000 something terrorists. So what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, is that what we have on paper is different from what we have in reality. So we still have insecurity much with us. In fact, if I'm permitted to say, it's getting bolder and getting increased by the day. So the president should please rise up to these menace and make sure they put it to sleep or put it to death once and for all. Something happened there a few days ago close to my house there. The FCT minister took a stroll very close to a garden at Life Camp. And he was trying to inspect it and telling the press and told them that he's going to renovate the place and bring it to the standard of City Gate. He just did that of City Gate, and very beautiful actually, and we commend the FCT minister for that. So he's bringing Life Camp Recreation Center and garden to the standard of City Gate. Now, as he was talking, we saw cows as well. And the press, you can trust them. Mr. Minister, are you not perturbed about this issue of cow moving around the city and being the capital of a whole nation? He said, please. It was even bring Garuleba of AIT. He said, please. Benga, I don't want to have anything to talk about cow. It's not my work. But you are the FCT minister now. I have the authority, but I don't want to talk about it. It's the issue of the NSA and the DSS director. Wow. He's pushing the issue, the matter of FCT to Nuribadu, who is the National Security Advisor, and the director of DSS. That's I think Akinwumi Abiakiyemi, the Yoruba man. So you understand? So people are now asking questions. Is it that there are some big wigs that are more powerful than the government? It's like we have them. That is why the issue of insecurity has not been put
All right. Thank you, Femi. Chinedu, I don't know if you have anything to say.
You know when he was talking, what I wanted to say is the cows are the owner of this country now.
Seriously.
Like they are the owner of
Very
the country. You
unfortunate.
see how have you ever seen the way they patrol the main road?
Mhm.
With all, confidence and I don't know what to say. It's
Alright.
sad. May they so rest in peace. It's so sad that what is happening, and we are praying that the government will find a way around this, making it possible for us to live together in this same country without having any problem. I think it's high time they give a restriction to how they move around.
You speaking about restriction. I just listening to what Femi said. This the minister of a particular territory, which is the federal capital, is telling the press right there in an interview where he was granting the press, cows passed to graze, and he dismissed it immediately that it's not within his own responsibility. So who then do we hold responsible?
Do you know that nothing is impossible for us in Nigeria? If we put our mind to put an end to something, we can actually put an end to it.
All right. Thank you so much. Viewers, there you have it. I can remember during the late president's in person of Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, a whole lot of persons are saying that the cows happens to be the senior citizens of Nigeria, and unfortunately in Tinubu's time, right there in front of the Minister of the FCT, we saw similar scenario playing out, and not so much could be said, not so much could be done about it. Could that be said to be the fate of an average Nigerian? I will leave you to be the judge of that. And now moving on to other stories, other developments. A very sensitive one at that, one that has to do with the comment that is attributed to an Islamic cleric who said in Kano State, in the mass wedding recently done in Kano State, and he said that the Muslim ticket must continue in Nigeria. So much was said, but we're just taking a bit of that, and many have responded thus far. And also, one also attributed to Prophet Isa el-Bubadeh that says this insanity in the north cannot continue. We'll take a breather there to watch this video, and when we'll come, we'll make our comment on that. So please don't blame it.
Tinubu wanda aka tutar siyasa su ya mata kirari da Muslim na ce na ɗaya daga cikin masu aka tutar musulunci da jama'a ku taho mu yi Muslim na sani cewa kafirai na jin zafin wannan kalma to amma ba akwai kiristoci ba akwai yahudawa ba akwai masu bautar magiro ba, ni musulmi mai wazin musulunci da na ce muslim mai na taɓa nasu, na hana kirishin ya faɗa ne, na hana magiro ya faɗa ne, na hana ɗan tantarbace ya faɗa ne, amma ni a matsayi na musulmi muslim sha'a man sha'a au aba. Amma wani zai ce ai to demokradiyya ne, ai akwai su ne ba sa sallah ba, ai kai ne wakilinsu. To mu muna sallah, muna azumi, kuma demokradiyya kun ce majority carry the vote. Jama'a, gauro da gauruwa, tuzuru da tuzuruwa, Allah ya ba ku abokan zaman tare na aure. Za su iya haɗa wannan taron? Yaran ɗin ina kiran ku don Allah kuwa je gyara ƙuri'a. Mu nuna wa duniya ƙarya kafirai suke da suka ce sun fi mu yawa a Najeriya, ƙarya suke yi. Ba don Allah ya taimake mu na ce Muslim ba, mai rabon jini sai ya ce sun fi yawa da aka buga Allah ya taimake mu muka kwantara su da ƙasa su zo na biyu ma ba su zo ba ko su zo sai na uku bayan muɗiyar su duka da haka ƙuri'a ta musulunci ce jama'ar musulmi ta ku fa kar wani ya ruɗe ku masu miyagun tarihi da haka sittan suka zo suka jefa mana ko a masallacin sarki a kan wai su ‘yan tafi ne wai su kiristoci ‘yan basaji to ku da Allah amma mu irin wannan gwamnatin muke so za ta ɗau ginshiƙin kafa gidan iyali mai tsafta ta zo ta kashe kuɗin Kano don mu musulmin Kano su ga miji da mata da ƴaƴa masu yanzu na yaba mu kuna ta musulunta a Amerika mayo mana ne da ya musulmi ne Allah ta rike shi mun ci a sashe daban-daban da yawa da wannan ƙuri'a ita ta zauna aka jefa ƙuri'a ta miki mai girma gwamna.
I'm coming to every Nigerian with a very serious, heavy heart. Because I thought that at this stage of our lives, especially when we're getting older, we should begin to think about Nigeria and how we can all live together in peace. As of today, I have supported over 10,000 Muslims across northern Nigeria. They have no relationship with me at all. Whether it is the school of their children, whether it is their housekeeping, it is home issues and all of that. But look at this bastard that called himself and a religious leader. These are the kind of people that I suppose that government should pick. But I can see the governor of Kano State. This is how insane all of you are in northern Nigeria, some of you. This is the way you think. People that are brainless. Somebody is standing there in your meeting shouting, Muslim, calling Christians infidels. And I'm going to go take this. If Christians should do this, who is going to have a country? Northern Nigeria, Muslims with the highest, you talk about the highest capital poverty of the world. Are you not ashamed? Are you not ashamed that banditry is here in the north? Criminality is here in the north. It is here in the north you have the highest level of drug addicts that you are supposed to be, if you are sane, to begin to preach the message that will help to bring people out of bondage and out of their captivity. You are there making stupid statement and inciting against Christians and calling them, look at them infidels if they think they have voting power. Woe to any Christian that is going to align themselves with these evil, brainless people and creatures. And I'm speaking to my Muslim brothers who are saying, you cannot be allowing this kind of creatures to be flowing among you. And I want to say to all the Kano people, it's time that whatever is your name, the governor of Kano, it's time you throw that guy out of that seat. He doesn't deserve it. Look at it. I'm going to play the video. If a governor is sitting under such kind of evil hate speech and he's praising this wicked, evil man called Jingri, whatever your name is, your cup is full. It will not be well with you. And God's word cannot be broken. It shall not be well with the wicked. Nigeria belongs to all of us. But I'm tolerating in where na mutaneba. Mutibe de bachi de kai. Yana muti.
All right, welcome back, viewers. A whole lot to take in from that video, especially from what the Islamic cleric had spoken. But I will leave the interpretation to the fact that Prophet Isa El-Boba have done justice to the interpretation itself. Every word he has spoken, and has also made comments on as regards to what the Islamic cleric is saying. So much is happening, and It has questioned the kind of nation we are. In a nation where different laws is guiding us as a people, this is a big question. Are we in a nation where our commonality as Nigerians are no longer seen or regarded in extinct anymore? Are we in a nation where, provided it is happening to one side, it seems okay, but when the other side speaks out, it seems as though all hell will be let loose? How long do we continue like this? We're having this kind of leader coming up in a public gathering of such magnitude to spread this level of hate. So much I have to say, but not so much I will, because Prophet Isaiah Buba has given us the finality as regards to that comment. But I'll leave my two co-anchors to respond to that while we look at other stories. Femi, you listened very aptly to that words and also the response. And you've also questioned, I think, in your previous analysis of issues, the kind of leaders we have on backstage. You said, can I imagine how the governor was standing in praise of that?
All right, it saddens the heart that a man of this age can reduce himself to a crust of bread because of religion. Mm-hmm. It is good to put it in a good position this morning. I mean, to say that Nigeria is a secular state. Islam has not been adopted as a state religion, neither has Christianity adopted as a state religion. So, for someone to come out like this and say Christians are infidels, Muslims are more than them in numbers, Muslims should continue. These are words from the pockets of an ignorant man. Because if you look at statistics, I don't want to enter the gutter with him, but it is good to us to also put it very clear and put it to him straight. That if you look at statistics, Christians are far more in numbers than Muslims in Nigeria. Just that because we have an internal problem and because of greed of some supposed religious leaders. That's why we are where we are. And it is so very unfortunate that we are not able to mend fences and come together as one to put all these kind of people where they belong. So let's it sink that in numbers, Christians are more. Put it on Google, look at statistics, they are more. And as Christians, Roman Catholic are more in numbers now coming to Orthodox, then Pentecostals. We are far more in numbers. In fact, statistics all over the world, we are more in numbers. So if you want to put that forward, we should put it forward. The reason why we are here, I want to emphasize again, is because of the greed of some of our supposed religious leaders who, because of immediate benefits, mortgage the destinies of the unborn children. So it's very, very quite very unfortunate. And number two is that the executive governor of Kano State was seated, and the man will still have a God to speak like that. Kano State being a Muslim state, but then officially Islam has not been adopted as the state religion. I don't expect the governor to now raise up his hand in praises, hailing a man, speaking out of ignorance, I mean gross ignorance. And an executive governor, democratic elected governor, hailing such a man with age but with lack of wisdom, a man with age but out of order with what is happening in the reality. A governor will now raise up his hand to hail such a man. It is also an indictment on the integrity of the governor of Kano State. That as a democratic elected governor, you cannot be on seat, and a man display that lack of decorum, and you can't put him where he belongs. Instead, you are hailing him. That's very unfortunate, equally. And then I want to ask that the northern brothers, how has Muslim ticket benefited you? How has it prospered you in your region? In fact, according to statistics, the northern part of the country has become poorer since the past 3 years. So I want to ask, when you go to the market, is there any place they sell your own rice separately? That this is a rice meant for Muslims. This is fuel meant for Muslims. This is palm oil meant for Muslims. Or you want to board a vehicle, they say because you're a Muslim, we have to. This is what we call ignorance at its peak. This suffering knows no religion. This suffering knows no tribe. If we keep on wallowing in the pool of tribalism and religion, our leaders will keep getting at us and they will get away with it. Because when you get to the market, you don't know he's a Muslim, you come to buy, you pay your money. If you want to fly an aircraft today, you pay your ticket. And you know how much it is to do that. So, for a man to come out and say, Muslim tickets, let this go, let it fly again, I do not envy you. I will have envied you if the Muslim ticket favors you. The way he's not favoring us. We will have envy as, he's favoring you now, but it's not favoring the southerners and the easterners. But then, it does not favor anybody. We go to the same market. We apply the same road. I dare that man to drive his car from Kaduna to Abuja. They will kidnap you and kidnap your head. Then you will now know that it is not about Muslim ticket. It's about good governance. If it's a Muslim that is giving good governance, we support him. If it's a Christian, we support him. So that is some level of good reasoning. That is not about religion. And again, lastly, I would like to say that it is quite insensitive for a man of that status to come out and speak now that Nigeria is going through insecurity. This is not the time to speak. Because if you are very sensitive, hope you are aware. Whatever I'm saying now, you can verify. That whenever you mention Islam, people tend to tag terrorism with the religion. This is not a time to boast about that religion. This is a time to see how to bring about peace and unity and peaceful coexistence. When you mention such a religion, people will say they are not religion of peace, they are this, they are that. So this is not a time for you to put forward such a statement. It's a time for you to represent that religion in a good view. And I would like to say to our viewers that please, being a Christian, being a Muslim, consider the integrity of whoever is going for a position before you vote. The marketplace does not know religion. The suffering in the land has no respect for tribe. Be very wise. Thank you.
All right, viewers, you've heard it there. If there's one person on this show this morning that is not holding back, I think that's what we give into Femi. Just like in the football pitch when we see the man of the match award. All right, but having said this, he has spoken very aptly to the situation that we have found ourselves in this country. It is not pleasing to any one of us. It is high time we begin to speak the truth, which we've always done unto the ACNN, to the leadership and to all who feel that matters. It is a shame. It is a shame. Not just to, for me personally, if not of age, I wasn't expecting so much from that cleric. But for the governor, I personally was expecting so much. But unfortunately, he has not lived up to that expectation. And before we move on to other stories, Tinubu, what's your take on this?
I really don't have much to say, but to say that if you say you want Muslim tickets, how has it enriched your pockets? How has it made your life better? For the past 3 years, that is the tickets we are using in Nigeria. Check your life. Check your pockets. Check your resources. Has it been better? If it has not been better, please go for someone you think or you know that will do better. Femi and Isa Abuba has said it all. The rate of poverty in the north, that is practicing Muslim and encouraging Muslim to give, is appalling.
All right. Thank you so much, Tinubu. Femi, just a last take on this matter from you. Isa Abuba, just like Tinubu raised, is saying that the insanity in the north cannot continue. What is your take on this? Because it came out points angry.
The man that spoke was formerly a Muslim, is a Fulani man who now converted to become a Christian, and of course is now a well-respected Christian religious leader, right?
Yes.
He said the insanity in the north cannot continue. It is because we've had a lot of menace. Somebody said, and I quote, and I want to say it with all sense of understanding. He said the instability we have in Nigeria today is because of the northern part of the country. The instability in terrorism, the level of poverty, and the poverty is because of a lack of understanding. Somebody can give you 5,000 naira and say, go and kill 20 people, and you go there and destroy them. You understand? You see the kind of poverty alleviation program their leaders are doing. I saw one the other day. They bought them a wheelbarrow to distribute to them and said that is how to ameliorate poverty. The other time I saw one bought torchlight. These are the kind of project their leaders flag. We thought, I'm not being nepotic. Who is that governor in Southwest? Who is that governor in Southeast that will buy wheelbarrow or that will buy torchlight? And people will be there. Press came. Paparazzi was there to take pictures. And will say, I'm empowering you with torchlight. How can you empower people with torchlight? The northern part of Nigeria. You have to come. It's time. You have to come of age. Come of age.
Thank you so much, Femi, and thank you so much to our viewers for staying tuned. It's still not too late for you to send in your comments or call into the show for us to get your own perspective as regards to all that we are discussing this morning. All right, we'll be leaving that issue now and then looking at one very sensitive one also. CSP Tenia Bade, TPO of Orbital Division, has admonished parents and children on a safe space for children. Let's take a look at that video when we come launch into that conversation.
Every daddy and mommy here that are still buying clothes that do not glorify God to their children, I will tell you the danger of it. You are not just exposing them, you are leading men to believe that these innocent ones are available. We went to a school for advocacy, and after speaking to them, that was in May, first week of May, we spoke to these children, we gave them true life examples. And immediately we stopped the advocacy. I saw a little girl right on the assembly ground. She raised her hand. I went to her and she said, Mommy, can I speak with you? I said, why not? So I took her far to the back of the school. You know why? Because I know the teachers and proprietors, they are interested in what she wants to say. But they are not a safe space for our children because they bully, they condemn, they judge them. Daddy and mommies in the house, our children no longer talk to you because you are bullying us. And unfortunately, the one you hurt as a parent, when you bully your children, when you flog, when you shut them down, is yourself. Because they can't come to you. All the children we've been privileged to meet, when they tell us their story, we ask them, how did you get this bad? He's doing this to you and you never told anybody. Why did you tell your daddy about this? They will tell me, he will beat me. Why you not tell your mama? She will beat me. How come we fail the generation? How come we are breaking their spirit? How come we are helping give upper hand to the devil in the lives of these children? We should be their safe space. We should be their breath of fresh air. Instead, they choke them. They are crying. I can't breathe. Can you let me be myself? Can you let me speak? Can you allow our children from today and my children in the house, listen well, speak up. Say this after me when you see something. Say something so that we can do something together. I'm not feeling the vibes of teenagers in the house. I said, when you see something, say something so that we can do something together.
Welcome back, viewers. Indeed, when you see something, say something so that we all together can do something together. Is it from the video of DSP Temia Badede. And when she was speaking backstage, I was asking, is this a police officer? Wow. I want to really commend her because she did not just speak as the officer of the arms of the law, but rather she have gone beyond that, and she's speaking like a pastor, I must agree. And this morning, such words are the kind of reform that we have been praying for, I must say, within our paramilitary organization, and not one that is of bad records and the rest. These are things that should be encouraged. These are the kind of officers that the Nigerian police are supposed to pinpoint and promote with accelerated promotion, because for me personally, this is how I'm looking at it. You never can tell the positive impact she's had on just those teenagers around. She have impacted on a generation that will pass it down to others, which I believe not so many within her space could do. So I commend her greatly. Chinedu, coming to you. You just heard what she said. Creating a safe space for children to operate. Most parents do not even know when they bully their children. That is a topic that we should look at. So what do you have to say? No,
she's actually correct. The truth is that we don't even know. Personally, I ask God for patience. I ask God to help me. Because there are sometimes these children do something and then you raise your voice. It's as if the child shrinks. It's as if, and as you're doing that, the child is like, next time, I can't tell my mom, I can't tell my dad because they will always shout for me. So I agree with him. I agree with the fact that we should make our children our friends. Get to know who they are talking with. The ones that have reached the age of operating phones, going on social media, be their friends on social media and find out what they have been doing. And even when you find out something that you know it's not alright, you can go a long way by patiently and quietly, because their own time and our own time are not the same. The truth is that during my own time, any small thing you do, you are being shouted on, you are being flogged, you are being treated as, and I will tell you the truth, I am not so close to, you know how you come and say, mommy, this thing happened, mommy, I wouldn't say I am that close. And so in this our own time, it's not like the kind of thick skin that we have developed is not the same with the generation that we have. The generation we have, we call them the Gen Z generation, and somehow little things get them depressed, little things make them withdraw. And so what we can do is make these children our friends and mind how we talk to them, mind how we react, because somehow they watch your reaction. Mind how you react to them. You go goes a long way to know whether they will depend on me or not.
All right, thank you so much. Femi, train up the child in the way he or she should go.
All right, what I'll just say, just in a few seconds, is that parenting has evolved. Parents should know that a lot of things has moved. Things are changing or have changed. Some of our parents are still living in the 1970s and they are using the strategy of the olden days parenting. Sit down there, shut up, don't talk. Who are you? Kneel down, raise up your hand. I'm not saying you should not scold them, but parenting has evolved. May God help us.
Amen. A big amen we must say to that prayer coming from Femi. And then viewers, we've gotten to that point in the show where we will be looking at the message for the day. And this is coming from the Reverend Father in God, person of the Variable Smart Sunday, Simon. And he's asking us this morning to be a watchman. Let's take a look.
In an age when truth is not clear and justice compromised, when the sacred boundaries between church and world are often encroached upon, the call to be a watchman rings louder than ever. It is not just a call to a role, it is a divine commission. And today we reflect together on what it means for those entrusted with legal and ecclesiastical responsibility to stand watch in this generation. There are a few issues I would like us to ponder upon this morning. One of those is the identity of the watchman. In Ezekiel 33, particularly verse 7, God tells the prophet, "So you, son of man, I have made you a watchman." A watchman is not self-appointed. He is called, positioned, and entrusted with the sacred duty of guiding lives, values, and divine truth. In the ancient times, watchmen stood upon city walls to scan the horizon for danger. Their roles was vigilance, discernment, and timely warning. In today's context, you registrars and chancellors are spiritual and legal watchmen. You stand on the walls of ecclesiastical order, safeguarding the church integrity, protecting her from doctrinal error, legal compromise, and moral collapse. You are positioned not merely to see, but to speak. Number two issues I want us to look at is the responsibility of the watchman. So the first is the identity of the watchman. Second is the responsibility of the watchman. Ezekiel told us, "You shall hear a word from my mouth and warn them for me." And this underscored two key duties. Number one is listening to God. A watchman must first hear from God before he warns men. He must commune with the divine. In a world full of noise, legal arguments, administrative complexities, and conflicting voices, the watchman must cultivate the discipline of spiritual attentiveness. How does this apply to you as chancellors? Are your judgment anchored in the righteousness of God, not merely the legality of man? And as registrar, is your work reflective of divine order and clarity? The first duty of the ecclesiastical watchman is to listen to the word of God. not just the status of man. And the second thing is warning on God's behalf. The watchman is not silent. Silence in the face of wrong is complicity. And Ezekiel 33 verse 6 says, if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet, the blood will be required from his hand. Dear servants of God, your silence or action determines life or death within the community of faith.
There you have it there, and I believe that the message is quite explicit. On this note, I want to thank my wonderful co-anchors for being on set with me this morning. Femi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, God.
It was quite an insightful moment with you.
Privilege.
All right, also Chinedu, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You brought a whole lot of touch to the show this morning. Almost a very big thank you. And also to my producer, the engineers, and everyone backstage. We say thank you so much for doing this together with you all this morning. All right, viewers, this is where we call it a wrap on today on ACNN. And we want to urge you to remember that you can be part of our show in subsequent time by always tuning to the station by also tuning to this station and also doing all there is to stand with us as we bring you everything that is necessary on today on ACNN. We will not just believe in you alone, we will believe in you with the Pidgin Bible reading segment and also possibly the weather of it. Without we call it a wrap on the show this morning. Thank you so much. I remain blessed. God bless you. I am God Nigeria. And bye for now.
Our Bible reading for today now from Job 8, 1 to the end. This na message wey one of Job friends, Billard, bring for him. Verse 1. Billard wey come from Shuan, come say, Job, when you go stop to dey talk like this? When e be say the word wey dey your mouth be like strong wind? Abi God no dey like justice? Abi God no dey do wetin dey right? Your children go don sin against God, na im make am pay them for their sin. But if you look up to God, come beg the Oga wey dey mighty. If you clean yourself, come call am your savior. Im go help you, come give you back everything. Your beginning fit small for eye now, but your end go better well well. Make you ask generations wey don pass, think and follow the truth wey dem sabi. Because this life wey we dey so short well well, we no know anything at all, and our days for this earth be like shadow wey go quick vanish. But make you let those wey get sense before dem die teach you, make you lis ten to wetin dem dey talk. Pious plant fit go for where river no dey? Abi reed fit grow without water? If water dry, na dem go first die when e never reach to cut am or use dem. People wey no dey fear God be like the reed, their hope don go as dem just forget God. Dem believe bad things and their security be like spider house. If dem rest for spider house, e go fit hold dem? If dem hold the spider rope, e go fit make dem stand? Wicked people plenty like better grass for sun wey dem dey water, wey scatter around the garden. Dem wrap their root for plenty stone, come dey look for where dem go hide put for the rock. But if dem root dem comot for their place, that place go reject dem, come say, I never see una before. Yes, that na all the joy wey wicked people get, and from inside the earth, others go come take their place. but God no go ever help wicked people. Come let person wey dey fear am suffer. Im go pack life full for your mouth and your lip go dey happy, but im go disgrace people wey hate you and wicked people house go vanish.